Hi there and welcome to the Sammy Sultan Show. This, my second celebrity interview. Today's guest is a sporting individual, a supreme athlete, a boxer, Anthony Crolla. Anthony, thanks for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
No, it's nice to have you here. It's going to be a great interview. We've got a new dynamic. It's great to have you. Thanks for coming. Now, I wanted to start with something that I didn't quite understand. $1 Million Crolla. Can you talk me through how that name came about?
I like how I say it's got nothing to do with my bank account. Nothing to do with the bank account. What it was is when I was at school and the film $1 Million Baby come out, and obviously you're at school and you know kids, oh, what's your nickname? I was like, well, not really got one. And then that film come out and obviously the $1 Million Baby, well, that's like people was calling me that, but then obviously the baby went and the Crolla, the dollar, it went well.
Nice ring,
of course, yeah. So it's a catch, and obviously it leaves me with a nickname like that. You're open to criticism. If I don't perform, I should. But
well, you are. It reminds me Floyd Mayweather. I mean, what do they call him? Million?
No, Money. They call him Money.
Money Mayweather. But he flashes. He's quite flashy sort of boxer.
Yeah, he's very flashy. I've been like close up. I've boxed on one of his undercards, and he's actually, a lot of that, don't get me wrong, it is an act, but he's one of them who bets hundreds of thousands of dollars every day, and unlike me, his nickname is related to his bank account.
So your $1 Million Crolla, it's not a reflection of a flashy boxer?
No.
Not at all. So let's talk where you're up to. You've got a big fight coming up. I'm sure the boxing fans out there know all about it. It's a rematch with Derry Mathews, correct?
Yeah, that's the one. It's one of the most anticipated fights, certainly of 2013 so far, certainly domestically as well. Last year it was judged by sort of the trade papers, the trade magazines, and people amongst the boxing community to be the fight of the year. And
that was in Oldham.
That was in Oldham, yeah, Oldham, April the 21st last year, and we go March the 30th. I go to Liverpool Echo, so I go to his backyard, as you say. I'm going into the Lions Den this time, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Like I say, last time he come to me, which Oldham's not too far from me, but this time I'm going into the centre of Liverpool, and I'm going to go into Lions Den, and I'm going to break the locals' hearts.
You're going to do the job?
I will do. I promise that'll be much different this time.
Are you going to thrive off that almost banter, that northwest
Yeah,
rivalry?
of course. There's obviously the Manx Scouse banter is gone, and obviously on the Twitter, I get it all the time, and don't get me wrong, some of it gets over, you know, crosses the line a little bit, but I don't take it personal. But nah, it's something I'll thrive off, because once we get in that ring, it's only a matter of fact of me and him being in there. Once that bell goes, it's me and him, just me and him. These 10,000 Scousers can't help him. I'm taking great support up with me, which I'm blessed with really, because up around where I'm from, New Moston, Failsworth Way, there's coaches upon coaches, and it's going to be a ghost town there that night. The support I'm getting, and it means an awful lot to me, and I want to do it for all them. So I won't be scared of getting booed by 10,000 Liverpudlians. The only thing I'll be scared of is not bringing a title back to my house. That's all I'll be scared of.
You've said that banter can cross the line sometimes, but I mean, I find with the Liverpool-Manchester rivalry, like in football, you're a United fan, aren't you? I think the banter can be quite. It's not violent like it was in times gone by. I mean, geographically, the two places are so close to each other.
Of course, yeah.
The people have great similarity.
That's it, they do have great similarities, but then at the same time, like you say, it's half an hour up the motorway, isn't it? But there's certain sets of both Manx and Scousers who despise one another. I mean, even when I get like messages wishing me good luck and then abusing a Scouser after it, I don't like get involved in that, because or vice versa. I don't take it to heart, because I mean some of my best friends are from Liverpool, and it's a great city, but obviously that's not to say I love the city where I'm from. Do you know what I mean? I love the city where I'm from, and that's who I support, and that's who I'm doing it for as well.
So we're 4 or 5 weeks away from the fight.
Yeah, just over 4 weeks.
How's training going?
It's going fantastic. I'm 26 years of age now, and I'm
talking. Is that young for a boxer? Just give me an approximation of a boxer's lifespan.
Yeah, well, do you know, as you go for the heavyweights, like, you see heavyweights going on until they're near 40 years of age. The lighterweights 30 and they're done, and then obviously in between it's sort of different. I always say different bodies, different people, they peak at different times, and their careers, though, you know, different ages. It's like, for me, I certainly don't believe I peaked. I believe I was a bit of a late developer, so I still believe the best from me is certainly to come. So but what I'm saying is 26, I've been in boxing now since I was 10 years of age. I started amateur when my mum and dad took me to the gym, and it's like, for me, I believe I've got now smart. You learn to know your body more, and everything I'm doing now is boxing specific, whereas in the past I'd be training like a madman, but it wouldn't make sense to be like, sometimes I might have been running 6 miles every day at a frantic pace, which would get me in most cross-country teams. But that's all well and fit and stuff like that. I was fit, but I was just overtraining.
Do you think sometimes less is more?
Of course, that's exactly what I was just about to get to. That's so true. Less can be more, and there's a method behind the madness now, and I certainly believe that even in the past 6 months, I feel so much better because of a few little tweaks that I've made. I mean, a few little tweaks have made a big difference, I believe.
Attention to detail, perhaps. Yeah. So in all walks of life.
Yeah, of course, in everything you do, and if those little things, if you keep just tweaking those little things, it can make a huge difference.
Do you have a relationship with your opponents? I mean, do you have to get yourself into a mindset where you physically loathe them? No. I can't imagine.
No, some boxers are like that. Some boxers are like that. I mean, there's a lad who's fighting there the same night, and he has to get it into his head that he hates his opponent, he despises his opponent.
It's not Mr.
And that
Derry,
just works for him. I don't think it is. No, it's not. But whereas me, I'm just like, listen, it's nothing personal. It's a job. I just look at it like that. We'll be friends going up to it. We'll shake hands before it, and then once the bell goes, that's it, and we'll shake hands after it.
So are you friends with
Derry?
Yeah,
well, yeah, we've got no problem with each other, and because of the first fight, we've got that respect for each other anyway. We didn't have the respect for each other after that first fight, then something would seriously be wrong.
Only another boxer will understand what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine it's such a foreign thing to me, but you know, you have so much in common with your colleagues.
That's it, and there's opponents who have fought in the past who, like, we've met up after it and we've gone out for a drink or gone out for some food, and people don't realise that. It's like, you're trying to take each other's head off for the 10, 12 rounds it is, and then after it you shake hands and have a drink. It's like, for me, it's just nothing personal, it's just a job. So I don't believe in holding grudges or anything like that. And I'm sure, like, with my opponent here now, Derry, after it we'll shake hands, and I'll no doubt see him sometime after.
That's commendable of you. So the winner of this fight gets a shot at the British Championship with Martin Gethin.
Yeah, that's one of the talk. Like I say, the winner of this fight will go on to big things, whether it be the British title shot or a bigger fight. So it's a lot riding on it, more than the Commonwealth title. I say the Commonwealth title is a good belt to have. It's a great belt to have, and it's something I've always wanted out my career along the way, because I'm a bit of a boxing anorak myself. So
anorak.
Yeah, boxing. You have
to elaborate.
Yeah, no, my life's basically boxing. Whether it's I'm a fanatic. Like, whether it, like I say, any spare time I get, I'm doing something boxing related. Whether it be I'm 3 times a week I help out at my old amateur club. Or if I'm not there, I'm going to watch one of the amateur kids, or I'm going to watch one of the lads from the gym. So basically, I've not really got much of a life. Like, times when I've gone on holiday, it's around to watch a big fight as well. It's just like, so
your younger brothers are boxing.
My younger brother fights, yeah. So I'm in there a few times a week with him as well, and just collecting belts and stuff like that is something I want to do. And winning that Commonwealth title is one thing I want to do, but I know there's a lot more that rides on this fight.
What's great is it sounds like you're doing something you love, which is a message I always try and preach. You know, do what you love, and if you're not only doing it as a job, but you're reading about it, you're watching films about boxing, you're named after a boxing film, really. You must just be so happy with where you're at.
Oh, I am. Like, I believe life's good for me right now, because I'm doing this. Don't get me wrong, it gets tough. There is mornings when I think I just want to roll over and go back to sleep rather than going to the gym or get up running. But
is it how we see it in films? Is it getting up at the crack of dawn, going for a run, drinking like eggs, raw eggs? Is it?
Some of it's like talking a bit. The times have moved a little bit sometimes. Like for me personally, there's only once or twice I'll get up at the crack of dawn a week. It's not every day, because I've always been a believer, as in, like I'm saying, it's specific, as in, like we were saying before, it's got to be boxing related. Like, unless you're boxing in a different time zone, where it be abroad or something like that, where you're going to box at that time, at the crack of dawn in their time, at the night, if you understand what I mean. But otherwise, you never see, I'm not going to box at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it doesn't make sense for me to be up every morning at 6 o'clock. I want to be up, like, especially near the fight, I'll be training, like, my trainer brings me in. He's very specific in everything he does. Everything's like to the letter with him. And
sleep as well has to be an incredibly important constituent part.
During the fight, like, everyone will be like, a few minutes, well, all right, so an early night for you tonight. I'll say no, because like my trainer near a fight, he likes me staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, having the lie-in, because then 9, 10 o'clock, whichever time I'm going to be fighting, my body clock's used to being awake, so Joe will bring me in at them times into the gym, and that's what time we'll start training. It's just so my body clock's used to being that. So it's so much more than,
again, it's these attention to detail.
Yeah, that's it. These little things.
And I guess you've got a dietitian. And what does your diet look like? It can't be particularly
it's not the nicest. No, it's not the nicest. I mean, to be honest, I'm one of the lucky ones where I made it comfortable, so I was thinking of actually going down a weight. That's still an option for me, because I'm not the biggest at my weight, so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage where I'm fighting slightly bigger lads. But to be honest, it's just about keeping it clean, really, staying away. You're staying away from sauces and just eating plenty of your greens, your green veg, and all sorts of vegetables, and just getting plenty of vitamins, your proteins in you at the right time.
No Cadbury's cream eggs.
No, but as it works out, Easter Sunday's the day after my fight, so
Cadbury's cream eggs.
Cadbury's cream eggs for breakfast.
Win or lose, I think. Win or lose. Treat yourself.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's a win, but I'll make.
What is your favourite chocolate? Do you have a favourite chocolate?
I've got a sweet tooth, me. Yeah, that's
Drifter.
the one thing. No, I'm not a drifter. No, I just love Cadbury's flakes, me. Cadbury's flakes.
Bit boring, that, Anthony. Bit boring.
I know, but
crunchy. That's where it's at.
Crunches are good. I literally any
Easter
chocolate.
Sunday, I'm going to have a cream egg on you.
Thanks.
Please God, toasting to your.
Yeah.
No offence to your opponent.
No,
we don't do favouritism on this show, but please God. So boxing you're doing something you love, but it must give you a real discipline in other walks of your life.
It does. It's like
you're not going to get yourself into trouble particularly. You're a pretty straight guy.
I don't get out that much. It's like after a fight I might go out once or twice, and that's it. Then they're the only nights out I really get. And there's times, like, for instance, next week, like all my best friends, a few times a year they go on a race trip, and that involves meeting at the pub like they do. They start drinking early and they spend all day drinking, and make a day of it. Yeah. But like, as great as those days are, but I can't afford to do them, and I've got to miss that, and people don't see the sacrifices.
Will you allow yourself a period to blow out?
Yeah,
like
maybe.
Ricky Hatton's notorious for that sort of thing.
Of course, yeah, not to the extent Ricky did. I'm one of them, I don't believe in, my trainer certainly doesn't believe in putting on a few stone in between fights, but I do believe it's important to let your hair down, and whether I go away for the week or something like that, and just have a few nights out maybe. Yeah. I do believe it's important to switch off at times, definitely.
We were talking before the show. How do you switch off? You said you do yoga? Yeah,
well, I go yoga. I use that as part of my training, really, because it helps obviously with flexibility, and then again, those little differences, those little tweaks can make big differences.
But do you do any like mindfulness things to relax? You seem quite a calm.
Yeah, to be honest, other than that, it's just chilling out, really. That's it, really, spending time around my family, just family, girlfriend, whatever, just a bit of family time. That's it, really.
How does your girlfriend watch you? Does she go to fights?
Yeah, she goes. Like, she's not too bad, to be honest, but yeah, I was just saying she's alright. It's my mum who's the main worry. My mum doesn't have. No, she's stopped going now. She used to always go, but it's got too much for her now, and to be honest, I don't like seeing her sat there like that.
But it wouldn't do you any.
Of course, yeah, it wouldn't be nice. Like we were saying, my little brother, he boxes, and it's that gets me. I get more nervous for him. Or I get more nervous when one of my friends is boxing than when I box it, because I think it's the fact that when I'm boxing, I'm in charge of my own destiny, sort of thing. It's up to me. But when they are, it's like you can only do so much, and at times it's like, oh, it must be a nightmare to sit there. Like, it's horrible. I don't enjoy it whatsoever. Although I'm proud of him, I'm really proud of him. I don't enjoy watching him fight whatsoever.
A question I always wanted to ask a boxer: how do you feel knowing that, given any situation, say you're in a club and something kicks off, really you're in the driving seat? I mean, you can look after your friends, you can look after your partner. Does that give you any sense of responsibility?
To be honest, no, I don't believe it does.
The reason I ask, I mean, Amir Khan, I think it was a couple of months ago, got mugged or got his coals, and I remember reading that he had to actually use some of his, not something a boxer wants to do.
Yeah, no, of course not.
At least you have that skill set. Do you know what I'm getting at?
I understand you. It might give you an advantage, an upper hand on like 90% of the public. But I mean, these days, sadly, we live in a time where knives, guns, bottles come into it. So I don't believe it makes that much of a difference. And I mean, you never want to use it anyway. But when it comes down to those things, no matter how fast you are, your punches aren't as fast as a bullet. Simple, yeah.
That's a good answer. So if you weren't a boxer, what would you be?
Do you know what, it's something I get asked that, and I think something I like to do, like I say, in my spare time, I help train the amateur boxers out, and it sounds a bit corny, but I enjoy seeing a kid walk through the door who can barely hold his two hands in front of each other, and even if he never has a fight, just to get that bit of self-confidence, or if they have a fight, then great. So I think something I've always liked to do is work with, I've never done it in the past, but something I've always liked the thoughts of is working with troubled children or underprivileged children is something I'd like to go into, and I think that's something I will go into after boxing. I'd like to anyway.
Quite a safe answer. If you could do anything out of the boxing realms, not within the boxing, maybe, I mean, you've talked about how you want to help children, so something in that capacity. Yeah,
something like that. Not boxing related, whatever it may be. I mean, I've gone into schools before and saw like kids who class as naughty kids, but I've been there, and as I've walked in, I've saw what they're doing, and you think the teachers must be, how they put up with them, you don't know. There's like jumping out windows, the way they're speaking to the teachers. But then when I've sat down with the children, I've spoke to them, and because whether I'd be more on their level, and you think they're not bad children, they're not actual, they're just like any others, but they're quick to blow the fuse or something like that. I'd like to just work along children like that, and sort of, don't want to sound like I think for world peace, right, but just try and help them out a little bit, you know.
Listen, it's a noble cause, but are there any charities you do or associated with?
No, I'm not associated with any, no, but I've done little bits, whether it be a charity football match, I've done quite a few of them, or there's nothing that I'm associated to, but I'm always like, for a good cause and a good day as well, I'm always up for that.
If this is going to be, we're getting into the realms of media now. I want to sort of pick your brains how you think Hollywood portrays boxing. I know we touched on it before. If someone could play you, say there was a biopic of your life, a boxing film, $1 Million Crolla, who would play you, apart from you? Do you want to play yourself?
Well, I'd like to, but if not, I actually said this before this film was even made. Mark Wahlberg's my favourite actor, so I'd like him to, but since then he's actually gone on to The Fighter, I
think he's bigger than you.
Just a bit, He'd have to slim down a little bit. But there's a great boxing film out long ago called The Fighter, and there's much more to it than the boxing.
Was that the truest depiction of boxing, do you think?
Well, I believe that was more, for me, it was very little about boxing. It was much more about the families and the brother addicted to drugs and
could you relate
and stuff like that. Me personally, I've not come from a background where it's like that. I've been lucky, as in like I've never had that troubled background, but I know people who have, and who could certainly relate to it. People who I'm close to, who who could relate to it. But like Mark Wahlberg, for me, he did a great job on the actual boxing side of it. He's a fan. He's out in LA at the famous Freddie Roach's gym, and he's in there daily when he's not shooting a film. So I'd like Mark Wahlberg to play me.
To play yourself.
Yeah.
But the nature of that film was two brothers. So the older brother training the younger brother.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be a possibility with yourself?
Possibly, if my little brother keeps it up.
Yeah.
There's a chance, because I half train him. Now. I mean, he's only young. He's only 14. But sometimes I like someone else to take that side of him, because sometimes you can get too emotionally involved with him, and with us sometimes I wouldn't want to risk the chance of falling out, because he's like one of my best mates. Although he's only 14, he's like one of my best mates, and I never want it to get to the point where we'd fall out. So I'd like to be involved with him, whether it be the head trainer or not, if he went down that route. Or
you want to give him some space to breathe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I don't know whether I'd want to take that role on. It's something I'd have to really think about. I mean, I'm lucky in the way that now with my trainer Joe Gallagher, we have a great relationship, we're good friends, and I
was going to ask you about Joe. He's your trainer, and you train in a gym in Manchester, with
Bolton.
in Bolton, with other Greater Manchester, with other fighters.
Yeah.
Who else is under Joe's wing? Or
there's the Smith brothers from Liverpool. There's Scotty Cardle, Scott Quigg. I mean, there's loads of. He's got 10 good lads there, 10 professionals, and Joe's lucky to. Well, I wouldn't say he's lucky, because he's worked hard over the years, but he's got one of, if not the best in some people's eyes, stables in Britain. He's a very well respected coach, and in there with Amir Khan, when Amir's not training in America, sometimes he will train with us and he'll train alongside us.
What's that like?
It's great. But I mean, with Amir, from being the age of 13, being on young England camps when we was amateurs as schoolboys, I've like roomed up with Amir, and I've known him since being 12, 13, and hand on heart, like, to be honest, in schoolboy championships, he always stood out, and I always thought, no, he's going to be special. It was always just, you get class lads, you get lads who was very good, very talented, but he was always just seemed to have that little bit of something special about him. So it was no surprise to me that he's been as successful as what he has been.
He's been incredibly successful, but he's got a couple of blips on his CV. More from sort of a basic boxing fan. Bouts of unlucky fights. I mean, he's moved on from Freddie Roach now, but there are points in his career where he's lacked a bit of clarity. He's had a few ups and downs, had a bit of a roller coaster of late, but that's all part of it. I mean, Amir's only 26 years of age, and he's accomplished so much in such a short time. But for me, it's like there's still so much more to come from him. People don't realise, and people slate Amir saying he can't take a punch, but they don't realise he's been hit off world-class fighters, and I don't believe he's got that problem. My only problem with what I'd say about Amir, as a criticism about Amir, is sometimes he feels the need to show that he can take a punch, which is a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game to play.
A very dangerous game, yeah, of course it is.
I mean, Muhammad Ali famously did that, didn't he? But it was Muhammad Ali.
It was not many people like Muhammad Ali come around very often. There's only one, and but he feels the need sometimes to shut his doubters up, when I suppose he should stick to the game plan a little bit more. But with him, it's like anything, there's ups and downs, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And hopefully that's the case with him now, and he's enjoying the change of trainers, and sometimes a change can do you good, and he certainly seems happy. When I spoke to him, he seems happy with the new setup, and he feels like he's learning, and I think it just ran its course at LA, in Hollywood at the Wildcard gym. Freddie, and he was the first to thank Freddie Roach on how well he'd done for him, but now he felt like once you feel you stop learning, then that's the time to move on.
What's your relationship to Joe like? Is it a paternal? Is it like he's a second dad to you? And also because you share him with other boxers, is there ever a case of you vying for more attention than the other?
No. I mean, some of the lads might joke sometimes and say, "Oh, I'm his favourite," then I might joke around saying, "Oh, such a body's favourite." But no, me and Joe are we're good friends, as well as trainer and boxer, and with that as well, with Joe, there's that's where I believe you can get into the zone where you become too much of a friend and you stop, I don't know about stop respecting him, but you stop listening to him as much as you should. And that's always, with Joel, the case is it's always, first he's my trainer, but then we're friends as well. So I respect his opinion. He's done so much for me. He's done massive amounts for me, but also I appreciate sometimes Joe will phone me up and he'll ask me my opinion or something, and to me that means an awful lot to me when he says that.
He values you.
Yeah, he values my opinion, which it means the world to me. Like someone who I've learnt so much from, he's asking my opinion on something.
I think that's the hallmark of great people, that they don't stop taking advice. Exactly. They never stop learning.
Yeah, yeah, and certainly in a game like boxing, a sport, so should I say, you can't call it a game. Yeah. But you never stop learning. I mean, with my old amateur coach, he's 76 and he's still going strong, and you never stop learning. You never ever stop learning. That's what he said to me. Yeah, he said, till the day you die, you never stop learning in this game.
Who decides the tactical sort of mindset? Who decides we're going to do this in the 5th round? We're going to, is it a collaboration between you and your coaches?
But that's down to Joe. Joe will come up with the tactics. Yeah, I mean, he'll run things by us and he'll see how in training, he'll see how like things are working, and strengths, weaknesses, and what he thinks. Sometimes he'll run things by me and think, how do you feel comfortable doing that or not? So with Joe, but all in all, yeah, it stands with him. The final say goes with Joe. That's the trainer's job, who I believe all fighters should be like that, really. If a fighter's having the final say, I believe he should have input. But if the final's overruling his coach, then for me he's with the wrong coach.
But there are certain things you can't predict. I mean, you can plan for the world.
Yeah.
But things, you know, spontaneous things can happen when you're in the ring.
Of course they can, whether it be a cut, a knockdown, which can offset your plans. And now that's how you've got to learn to adapt. I mean, in training you can try and cover as many angles as you want, but you can't just cut your eye open, because it's as well as it being dangerous, it just doesn't make sense. So if that time comes, you've got to just make sure you stay calm and don't let the panic set in. When
you're sitting there in between rounds and you get an advice, do you take any of it in?
Yeah.
Can you really digest what they're saying? Get out of my way, I'm sweaty, I'm hurt.
No, that's an important thing, and that comes with experience. Like your first few fights, maybe a lot of that's just in one ear out the other. But that's a skill in its own. Staying calm, listening, and as you're recovering, you're taking in what's getting said to you, because it can be very important. That can be the difference between winning and losing. Like a cornerman can win you the fight,
because they're viewing it, they're seeing the bigger picture. You're embedded within the fight.
Yeah, of course. Like sometimes I believe, for instance, Joe has won me fights with how the tactics he's planned, and someone will say, oh, that was great, and I just think, really, I just followed out the plan. The plan was there, I just followed the orders.
Right, final few questions, Anthony. Who is your boxing idol?
Boxing idol is, of recent times, it's a Mexican fella called Juan Manuel Marquez. Who's
great fights with Pacquiao.
Brilliant fights, and the last fight I was so happy, because I don't know if I was being biased, but he'd lost 2, drew 1 going into the 4th fight, and I believe he'd won all 3. So I felt like it was a bit of justice.
So much controversy with all those decisions, though.
And yeah, definitely. And I believe, like I say, I believed he won all 3 of them. I believed he proved he was the better man. But obviously, you look back in the history books, it doesn't say Manny Pacquiao won. But most of the audience, most of the public thought that Marquez won. It just simply said Pacquiao won. So for him to get that little bit of justice last time, I was really happy. But from like past times, just like I say, I'm a bit of a boxing nut, really. Yeah. Like whereas like Salvador Sanchez, Alexis Arguello, they'd be like who the hardcore boxing fans would have heard. They're fighters who I really love watching.
Is that monster fight, that huge fight, ever going to happen? Pacquiao Mayweather.
Do you know, a bit back I thought it's got to. There's just too much money involved for it not to happen. But now the more it's gone on, I don't know if it is going to happen. It's even after what happened last time, it's lost a little bit of its appeal now. That should have happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Even if it does, they're not both at their peaks anymore.
No, like you say, as brilliant as Mayweather is, he's slowed down a little bit now, and Pacquiao certainly has as well. So it's such a shame. It's a crime that's happened, that fight's not happened already. Like I say, even if it does happen now, it'll still probably the richest fight ever to take place, and generate massive money. But it's a little too late for me now, and I've got a feeling it won't happen. We'll see though.
We'll see. Fingers crossed for boxing fans.
No, definitely it's better late than never, as they say, but I just don't know. It's crazy to think it didn't happen.
I don't want it to get to a point where it's like Rocky V, and he's like, he's showing up, Mayweather's showing up, and he's like...
Exactly, when it's way past...
Good film though, I mean...
Rocky V was my worst one.
Was it?
Yeah, it was my worst one, but still enjoyed it.
There's something romantic about Rocky though.
Yeah.
I'd go and see the 6th.
Oh yeah, if it come out, even the last one, like I was there as soon as it come out of the premiere. You know, I was wanting as soon as the pictures was open.
So unrealistic though.
Oh, crazy unrealistic. That's what.
You're like 55 in the film, taking on a young whiz.
I think we've all, maybe it's just me, but we've all wanted to be Rocky when we was younger. We've all been gripped by it, and certainly me, I had the orange peels in my mouth thinking it was my gum shield and
down in the egg.
give myself salmonella and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that. Always crossed my mind. Anyway, you're not one of those boxers that's showing the bruises of a lifetime in the ring. What have you had? Pretty bad injuries? What's the worst injury you've sustained?
To be honest, fingers crossed. I've just had a few stitches here and there. Do you know, just a few times, but. Hopefully, nothing too serious,
Hopefully none in a few weeks as well.
No broken bones, hopefully my nose won't be too across my face by the time my career's finished.
I wanted to ask you a question. I read a lot about footballers the night before a big game. Yeah. No hanky-panky, no sexual intercourse. Same for boxers? Yeah,
same for boxers. That's... it's an old myth, and going back to Rocky, they've got to say women weaken legs, don't they?
Yes, that they do.
I think scientifically they've proved
women are bad for you.
No, I think scientifically, I was reading a bit back, it is a myth, and but they certainly don't recommend the night before a fight, but a few days before, you should be fine.
Relax. It's part of the mindfulness, I would imagine. So, what's in your mind? You're walking up to the ring. We're just coming to the end of the interview, and I want to gauge just before a fight. It's the end of the interview, but just before a fight. Yeah. What's going on? Are you focused completely on tactics?
Yes, completely. That's the hard work. That's the 8 to 10 weeks camp that you've put in. You're thinking, right, this is what this 36 minutes, if that's what it's going to be. If the fight goes a distance, this is what I've trained so hard for. Now it's my time. Don't let it. Don't choke. Don't choke.
Don't bottle it.
Don't bottle it. Make sure you carry out the game plan that's been set out, and that's it really. That's, for me, the nerves have gone then. When I'm walking out, the nerves have gone. I'm a bit sort of more, not for everyone, I believe I'm pretty calm backstage, but for me, I tend to get a bit of nerves the day of the fight. I'll be in the on, and I just like an hour to myself or something in the afternoon where I'll sit through, I'll get a bit of butterflies. I'll sit through, you know, my thoughts, gather my thoughts and stuff, and then as soon as I get picked up off Joe to get took to the fight, I get there, they've gone. They've gone.
You're not going to be tweeting on the day of the fight, are you?
No, the tweeting starts on the day of the fight.
Are you?
No, I might have a look, but I'm one of them just chill out, like say watch a bit of television and that, because I don't, sometimes, certainly in the past, you can overthink things, and
it's like a golf swing. If you overthink a golf swing,
of course, it all goes wrong. And you watch opponents, and that in the end, you worry too much about what they're doing and what you've got to do. You forget about what you've got to do. So sometimes, like Joe might say to me, have a day off boxing, go to pictures, watch a film or something, just forget about boxing for 24 hours. And as hard as it is sometimes, 'cause it's a big part of my life, that's what you've got to do. You've got to switch off, because there's nothing worse than, like, this is not just an excuse because I'm always late. I'm really unpunctual. But
oh no, that seems to be in conflict of a boxer's.
Yeah. I know, I can be shocking, but I don't like getting there too early. I don't like getting there too early, and I like just, if it was up to me, but you have to get there a bit early to have the drug test a lot of the time and stuff like that. I'd get there, I'd put my stuff on, move about for 5 minutes, and then I'd get in the ring if it was up to me. But because I don't like being cooked in the changing rooms too long, the anticipation. I'd rather just be at home, chilling out, watching a bit of television, and then go, sort of thing. Because that before it, that's where, like, contradicting myself a little bit here, but I suppose without you knowing it, that's where a bit of nervous energy is getting burnt up as well.
Let's ask you some fun questions just before we wrap up. I'm going to ask you, it's like one word, monosyllabic, first thing that comes into your mind, okay? We're not trying to catch you out, don't worry. Favourite film?
Gladiator.
Fruit or veg?
Fruit.
Coronation Street or EastEnders?
Curry.
That was a quick response.
Definitely.
You're a fan.
Yeah, I've got to say that.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Rain or snow?
Rain.
KFC or Burger King?
KFC.
It's good, the fried chicken, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chips aren't great, but it's...
We've had one open up near us, and it's when you're on a diet, it's a killer driving past it.
Killer for you. Starbucks or Costa?
Oh, big Starbucks, man.
No.
Big Starbucks, man.
We were doing so well. We were doing so well. Like, it's more expensive, and it's branding. Don't be a sellout.
That's about as exciting it gets for me in training camp. Like my weekly treats, like a light frappuccino.
Light frappuccino
with a skinny muffin. Yeah, I love frappuccino with a skinny muffin. That's like my weekly treat.
Even in winter, frappuccinos.
Yeah, even in winter.
Good for you.
I love a frappuccino.
I agree. People don't do it. People should do it.
I love a frappuccino.
City or United?
I'm a red.
United. North or South Manchester? There is a divide.
I'm North, aren't I?
You're North.
I'm North.
Sure you are. EasyJet or Ryanair? If anyone can pick a better.
Have I got to pick one?
You do. You can't sit on the fence as much as we would like to.
I'm going to say Ryanair for the simple fact
you have to pay for the toilet.
I know, but you get a bit of music when you land. When you land, you get that bit of music letting you know you're on time, or...
You know what?
So
at least you've validated it.
That swung it for me.
That's a fair enough call. Right, just before we go, come on. I can't not ask a boxer how to show me a couple of moves. Come on.
Okay, here we go.
I always thought, is that my stance?
Right, let's see you now. So let's have a little bit different.
This is orthodox
yeah,
stance.
You're right-handed, aren't you?
Right-handed, yeah.
Yep, so let's put this right hand back here. No, the right hand.
Oh.
The right hand, yeah, here we go.
Start.
We'll make a champion of you, yeah. Spend those knees.
Spend the knees.
Right, so then I want you to put the jab there. That's a jab, yeah? And your right hand, yeah?
Right hand. But do I turn? Am I meant to turn? Am I meant to turn?
Yeah, you've got to turn the knuckles in. You've got to turn knuckles, land with the knuckle part of the glove.
You see?
That's it.
You've got to watch it.
Yeah.
And again. Okay, right, so let's do a combo.
Yeah, right, that's what I was going to lead on to, right? So now this time we're going to go 1, 2.
1, 2.
Now I want you to move your head. So I'm going to throw a shot there.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a shot there. And then you're going to come back with a left hook, right hand.
Okay, right,
Let's
if we
see
can
if
do
get
this.
Yeah?
And be honest.
So let me see,
I'll be honest in your appraisal at the end of this juncture. Okay, right.
So we're going to go through it slow first. So
okay.
We'll go 1, 2, then slip.
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 Slip. Punch. And around.
Yeah.
And around. You show them who's boss, Sam.
That's the one.
Okay, you show them who's boss.
So we're going to try and speed this up, yeah?
Okay, right.
Off we go. 1, 2, slip, bam, bang. There we go. That'd be a champion, yeah.
That was good. I enjoyed that immensely. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Anthony for joining us today. It's been a really fascinating and insightful interview, and we've learnt about boxers in general. And good luck in a few weeks. We'll all be rooting for you. The Sammy Sultan Show is rooting for you.
Thank you very much.
All the very best. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.